What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming at you today with another video, and we're doing another Detroit Lions training camp observations. Day 15, 2024, another day, another training camp practice. Thanks to guys like John Macaron, Tim Twentyman, Jeremy Reisman, Jeff Risden, Eric Schlitt, Justin Rogers, all the guys, all the Detroit Lions beat writers are getting the job done and putting out that work, and I can get it out to you guys, and but they get all the credit. I'm going to be honest with you, guys. I honestly thought that training camp was done. I know we're going into game 3 of preseason. Completely forgot that we were kind of doing that. Well, I knew we were going into this, but I thought they were going to cut off all observations from the outside, kind of like the media and stuff like that, from getting some info. But I was wrong, and I think there was today's practice, and I think there's tomorrow, Wednesday, and I don't know if there's a Thursday practice, but I know there's going to be at least one more, and we'll go with that. But participants, news, not practicing, running back Jahmyr Gibbs, tight end Sam Laporta, left tackle Dan Skipper, rookie Christian Mahogany, rookie offensive tackle Giovanni Manu, cornerback linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez, rookie corner Terrion Arnold, rookie cornerback Enos Rakestraw was limited. He was practicing, but he was limited. Sorry, I have him on the not practicing. He was out there, but he was limited. Ifeanyi Melifonwu, Kevin Zeitler as well. Cornerback Carlton Davis, cornerback Amik Robertson, and Enos Rakestraw, the rookie out of Missouri, were limited. They were out there, but just doing some limited work. Good showing with DJ Reader and Christian Mahogany, the offensive guard that we drafted in the 6th round out of Boston College, working with the trainers. Hopefully, DJ Reader get a little bit of good news from him. I know he came up with some news during the week that he got a scope done, I think in June it was. But now there's hopeful that we're going to get him back by next week doing some individual drills. Nothing full bore yet, but individual drills, getting the pads back on, being able to do some stuff. It's a hopeful thing. So that's kind of, good news right there. Next week, they're trying to get him off the PUP list before the season starts. So that's good. We'll know more within a few days, a week, whatever. But it's good to hear about DJ Reader. And then Dan Campbell, he expects most of his players to be back next week. Obviously, there's going to be some guys that are kind of on the bubble about returning, but he expects guys like Gibbs, Laporta, guys like Malcolm Rodriguez, Rakestraw full, Terrion Arnold full, Melifonwu, those type of guys are supposed to be all back. There's going to be a couple of guys a little bit dinged up still, but he expects most of his guys back, getting prepared for week 1 versus the LA Rams. So we'll find out more again next week about that. But Campbell, he thinks that guys are going to come back. And then linebacker Malik Jefferson and wide receiver Traquan Smith were put on the IR. Don't really know what Malik Jefferson's injury was. I know Traquan Smith, the wide receiver, was a hand injury. And they did sign a linebacker, Joel Iyegbinaway. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Iyegbinaway. Former Chicago Bear. I think he was drafted in the 4th or 5th round, played in the XFL. So camp body, it seems like we got a lot of injuries right now to the linebacker room. So more on that. Oopsie daisy, he fell. So we're going to continue rolling. Don't know where the Hulk went. He's down there. All good. And then some tight end, Brock Wright, and running back Craig Reynolds news. Reynolds with a really nice, strong touchdown run. He had like a 60, 70-yard touchdown run. Brock Wright with a nice catch and run, looking physical out there from Goff. Haven't had a chance to talk too much about Brock Wright, but he is our tight end too. Craig Reynolds, man, he's backing up Gibbs as of right now because Gibbs is injured. So, he's working with a running back, David Montgomery, and he's working with first-team offense. So, a lot of people think that Craig Reynolds is a bubble player. I personally don't think he is. I know a lot of people have that opinion. With Sione Vaiki or Vaikai, I think it's Vaiki, with him kind of, getting a lot of work in preseason 1 and preseason 2 games, getting a lot of opportunities. That's good for Sione. But I still think I still think Craig Reynolds is RB3 here. I just think he's too valuable. I've talked about it before. He's a good runner. He's a capable receiver. He's a great blocker, and he's a really good special team guy. And I think he's very similar in Vikey's game, where they can keep him on the roster and he can be his mentor, per se, because they're very similar. They're just a very similar back, and I don't think they really want to get rid of him because of that, because I still think that Sione is a guy that is going to be a developing running back. He's still learning the position, but that's good for Craig Reynolds, to be getting those stops with the first team offense. And then Brock Wright, like I said, tight end 2 behind Sam Laporta, taking all the tight end 1 snaps right now with Laporta being sidelined with that hamstring injury. More Isaiah Williams. That's what we like to hear, man. This guy's making it really, really starting to make it easier, it seems like, to keep this kid on the roster. Got a touchdown pass from Nate Sudfeld. I guess he took one to the house, like 60 yards on a screen. He's just making big plays daily. He's just doing his thing. He's clearly, I think right now, it seems like the clear front runner for that wide receiver 4. I know they want a big body, at that X position. They're looking for Darius Fountain. They're looking for Donovan Peoples-Jones to kind of step up and be that guy. But this guy's clearly taking over right now. He's just making big plays, man. He's even Dan Campbell kind of coming out and saying, like, they're thinking about putting him on the outside. He hasn't done it. He didn't do it much in college, if any at all. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But they're kind of toying with it right now. I don't know how it happens, but it seems kind of unlikely. But they're thinking about it because they want to keep this guy on the field, and he's just outplaying everybody. And Brian Branch, man, he made a really nice strip ball out of J-Mo's hands. Like during team drills, kind of threw a screen to J-Mo. Branch came in out of nowhere, stripped the ball. He's just very good with the ball. Looked good in team drills too, and in individual drills as well. And then C.J. Moore, man, he had a sack against the second team offense. He's getting a little more confidence coming back to the injury he had. And then Goff to St. Brown, the chemistry's still there. I talk about it every now and then. The beat writers, they kind of, they don't talk about it for a bit, but then they always come back to it. It's just, it's not going away. It's very strong. No preseason game work, obviously, but so what? These two guys have a connection. They have something going on. It's like you see this in a lot of quarterback, wide receiver duos, and this is one of them. They just know where each is going to be. They're just, they're akin to each other. They got the same wavelength going on. So, he had a touchdown pass from Goff to St. Brown, the situational, trailing 6. 3rd and 12, 20 seconds left. Goff to J-Mo, got the first down, ball on the 5-yard line. Amon-Ra St. Brown with the touchdown. Bates with the extra point and the win. The timing is just evident, and it just hasn't disappeared. More Jake Bates stuff, the kicker. He was 3 for 4. He did miss a 38-yarder. He hit it on the second try, though. They gave him another try. He nailed it. On his second round, he hit a 48, a 43, and a 38-yarder. He did miss a 64-yarder, apparently 65-yarder, short and wide right, so it wasn't that close. But I think he's pretty much cemented himself. Still, they haven't brought in a kicker. It's Jake Bates' job to lose. So it looks like you might as well put him down in pen. Some more quicks. Jake Fromm, the quarterback we picked up last week, he's only participating in individual drills, no team drills. There's no competition with Fromm right now. He's competing with himself. That's really about all he's doing. He is not in a quarterback 2 situation or the competition. There's fans out there that want to see him out there. They want to see him this Saturday. I think it's Saturday they play against the Steelers at Ford Field. I don't think you're going to see him for a second. So, and we'll talk about more of that because I did write another video, not about Fromm, but about Hooker in some words by Dan Campbell. But you're not going to see Fromm out there. I'd be shocked if you even see Fromm. He'll be dressed. He did dress for the Kansas City game, but he didn't go out there. Then rookies, defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo and nose tackle Kyle Pico impressing on Tuesday. Winning reps with solid pass rush moves and power. Good to hear that about the rookie. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Donovan Peoples-Jones were nice in some red zone one-on-ones. There's video of it. Joseph had a nice interception. Branch looked good too. I talked about that. But Donovan Peoples-Jones made a couple nice real cuts and a couple nice catches. Amon-Ra is doing his thing, obviously, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, he needs to step up, and it looked like he stepped up on that Tuesday. And then the center, Kingsley Aguakan, the undrafted free agent out of Florida, taking first-team reps at guard. Then he moved over back to center with the second team. He has started both preseason games, Kingsley, and they want him to be, it seems like they want him to be the primary backups at either center or guard. My feeling is more center. Since they moved over Michael Neese from center to guard. It kind of seems like they want Kingsley to kind of take over that primary position behind Ragnow. But now it looks like it could be both. One of the guard spots, Zeitler's banged up. So I know they got Michael Neese, they got, Coyote Iwisika, and now they got Kingsley Aguakan kind of pushing guys too. So, depth is starting to kind of form itself right now. And I always thought Kingsley Aguakan, I've talked about this before, I always thought that he was going to be drafted, but he never got drafted. So, he did get beat today by Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes kind of ran right by him. He undressed him a little bit on a blitz. But other than that, Kingsley's been really solid during camp all year, and he's been pretty good in those preseason games. The O-line number one looks like on Tuesday it was from left to right. It was Taylor Decker at left tackle, Graham Glasgow left guard, center Frank Ragnow, right guard Kingsley Aguakan, and then right tackle Penei Sewell. And then offensive line number two, left to right, Jamarco Jones, who's been playing probably better than Colby Sorsdal. I'll probably talk about that in a little bit. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry. Jamarco Jones, Jake Burton, the ex-Michigan Panther, Michael Neese at center, Coyote Iwisika at right guard, and then right tackle, Colby Sorsdal. And then O-line number three, Jamarco Jones, Jake Burton, another XFL guy, Duke Clemens, undrafted free agent, Brian Hudson, undrafted free agent, and Colby Sorsdal too at right tackle. So, like I said, it seems like it's starting to form a little bit. The depth seems like the depth is starting to form a little bit. A lot of people think that we don't have any depth whatsoever. We did lose a couple guys earlier in camp and stuff like that, but it's starting to form a little bit better. A lot of unknowns, but it's starting to form a bit. And then Hooker, situational stuff, down 1 point, 46 seconds, one timeout, 1st and 10 on own 20-yard line. Jack Campbell with the blitz, got the Hooker, 6-yard loss, used the timeout. Fountain with a 20-yard catch, who had a better day today too as well. Caden Davis had a nice day again today, 14-yard crosser. And then 2 spikes, 2 incompletions, 65-yard field goal attempt. It wasn't even close. I think that was what I just talked about. Jake Bates missing the 65-yarder. You're not expecting him to hit that too much, even though he's got the leg to do it. More quicks. Hooker and Sudfeld did struggle with the accuracy today. Even Goff was a little bit off today on Tuesday. They hadn't practiced within a couple days. They had that game on I believe it was Saturday afternoon, Friday afternoon, whatever it was. They had a couple days rest. Came back on a Tuesday. All 3 quarterbacks kind of looked a little off. It's going to happen. But Hooker and Sudfeld still fighting for that QB2 spot. That's what Campbell came out and said today. That's what I made my video about, and I'll talk about that later, not right now. Individual drills. Goff makes sure he this is something that really stuck out to me when I heard this, guys. In individual drills, Jared Goff makes sure that he's throwing the ball to, in first of series, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Khalif Raymond. That's your 1 through 3. I've talked about that a lot. I kind of predicted it was going to be that. Obviously, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, JMO, that was easy. The Khalif Raymond thing, I kind of said I thought it was going to be Khalif over Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I thought that DPJ would be like the 4th guy. But it looks like Raymond has taken over those duties. He is the 3rd guy. And then he's throwing the ball to Donovan Peoples-Jones, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra. Shane Zylstra kind of threw me off a little bit too, because I like Shane Zylstra. I think he's a good tight end. He's more a receiving guy. He's not going to go out there. He's not going to block his ass off for you. It's not really his game. But I think he's a receiving threat. Now, does that mean that James Mitchell's job is in a little bit of trouble? I think it's still a tight end 3 battle, but it kind of shows me what the pecking order could be right now. Shane Zylstra over Mitchell, starting to maybe look like that. It's starting to materialize, but we'll find out more. And then quarterback Khalil Dorsey, as he's taking cornerback 2 reps with Carlton Davis as the 1, first team defense. Those injuries going on with Amit, Terrion Arnold, Rakestraw being limited, all kinds of injuries going on. But, Dorsey is a solid depth guy. He's a good special teamer. He's still fighting for that cornerback 5 and 6. So him and Kendall Vildor are kind of gonna, I think they're gonna make the team, both those guys, but they're gonna be depth in special teams. Then special team standouts, blocking, attacking drills, running back Sione Vaiki, Craig Reynolds, and Jalen Reeves-Maben, of course, the All-Pro, the Pro Bowler. Jalen Reeves-Maben, man, is one of the best special teamers in the NFL today. And then James Mitchell kind of showing out too on special teams as well, something he needs to do if he wants to win that tight end 3 battle as well. And then Colby Sorslow, it's been a rough couple of weeks for Colby for big number 75. He showed some good footwork today against defensive end Isaac Ukwo and defensive lineman Josh Pascal. He did lose to defensive tackle Lee McNeil, though, getting blown away, getting pushed right into the backfield. But he's had a rough couple weeks, man. He has not had very good games versus, the Giants or the Chiefs. I heard he was a little bit better versus the Chiefs. I didn't really get a good shot at watching him much. I was keeping my eye on a lot of other things. But, I kind of got mixed reviews about him, about he's a little bit better against the Chiefs. Some say he was just as bad. Some say he was just, he was just whatever. So, he needs to step up his game. He was fighting for that, that swing tackle position, with Dan Skipper, but it looks like it's probably going to be Skipper if Skipper comes back healthy. Skipper's a little bit banged up right now. So Sorslow's really trying to lock down that swing tackle spot, but I don't know if he will. He will make the team though. Jamarco Jones has been the better pickup so far. He's been playing really good. He did lose reps to James Houston on Tuesday on an inside move, and he lost on an outside move to Isaac Ukwu. So 2 guys that have some pretty good pass rush moves. On the last page, guys, Hutch and Sewell. Whenever Hutch and Sewell are out there against each other, the whole world stops. Everybody watches. Hutch really had a nice 2-hand win against Penei Sewell. Pushed him in the chest, drove him all the way back. It was a good. A lot of people will say, well, Sewell didn't lose that rep because, Hutch didn't get around him. It's not about that. Hutch overpowered him, got underneath his pads, pushed him, and that's all. That's pressure. That's pressuring the quarterback. Gets knocked into the quarterback. You never know what happens. It's not just about swimming or ripping underneath a guy and getting to the quarterback. That's always what you want to do. But if you could stand up an old lineman, put him on his heels and push him all the way back into that pile and, into a running back, into the quarterback, it's a win for the defensive end. Hutch looks like he is primed to have an all-pro year, and I think he's gonna 15-plus sacks incoming for Hutch. 15-plus. I called it last year he'd have 15 sacks. He'd have 11 and a half. It's coming this year. And then Sewell takes offense to stuff like that. He got really mad at himself, screamed out loud apparently, yelled at himself, cursed out loud, went right on the sideline and worked on what he didn't do against Hutch. He was doing it against Ghost or whoever he was doing it against, but he works on his technique. He's a monster. He's an all-pro guy. He's a guy that's not satisfied with making the All-Pro last year and being a Pro Bowler and all that stuff. He is one of the, if not the best offensive tackle in the game today. I still say Trent Williams is better, but this guy's right on his heels. Lane Johnson's up there too. He's a good one, but this kid, man, he's super young. He's going to be one of the best either this year or by next year. He's always trying to be better. Gamer. More quicks. Wide receiver Isaiah Williams. He's looking to be taking over kick return duties as well. He does have a couple fumbles in the preseason on that. But it looks like he's kind of taken over a little bit right now over Khalif Raymond and Maurice Alexander. It's still a little bit early. They still got some time to figure this out. But they're trying to get this kid on the field as much as they can. And it's very obvious what they're doing here. I think he's going to be a roster lock. I almost want to say he's a signed, sealed, delivered, boom, throw away the key. I think it just seems more and more Like, this kid is just not, they're not going to put this kid in the practice squad because he's going to get yanked because people are probably watching him as we speak. You know, I thought it was a miracle this kid wasn't drafted. He led the Big Ten in catches for the past couple of years. He's just not the quickest guy, you know, but he's got that football speed. You know, he's not going to burn you down the seam. He's not going to run down the sideline, you know, and dust guys, but he's quick with the ball in his hands. He's sneaky fast. He's slippery. He's got a little bit more power than you would think for a 5'10", 185-pound guy. You know, that's a little bit early, but he's taking over duty. They're just trying to get him on the field. I think he's almost locked, like, for this roster. He could be your wide receiver 4. You know, I know they're looking for a big body, but my God, he's making plays. And then Ty Summers, another pickup that we picked up, a linebacker, more of a special teams guy, played for Green Bay, the Saints, a couple other teams. Man, he had a good day versus the Chiefs too. He played well. He showed some patience and discipline in read and react drills situations. He closes ground very quickly in the run game and in the pass game. You know, he's not the biggest linebacker, but he can move. Man. And he's actually showing out a little bit right now. Ty Summers. Going to be tough for him to make this squad, but with all the linebacker injuries, he could be with us week 1. Scott Daly, you know, he's a long snapper news. All right, yay! Got all the reps at long snapper. It's been a real battle between him and Hogan Hatton, though, at UDFA. Hogan Hatton did come in for the final team drill session. Hogan Hatton has played some linebacker too as well. Actually played some linebacker versus the Giants, I believe it was, too. I don't know how much snaps he got defensively against the Chiefs, but you know, it's a real competition in this long snapping, and that's just what it is. And then Josh Pascal, he's been improving every day as well. He had a nice game against the Chiefs with that strip sack, some pressure. And then, like I said earlier, Darius Fountain, wide receiver, he did have a better day today, but mostly ran with the threes. So, you know, a little bit of a demotion, that tells you a lot, that he needs to step his game up, big time, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think it's a little bit now or never for this guy. He had such promise, but he hasn't been that great for the past couple weeks. But he did have a better day today on that Tuesday. But then Caden Davis, he was running mostly with he had some one drills, and so did Isaiah Williams, obviously. And then this is it. Davis looking good in man coverage too. Carlton Davis, something that he has been very strong at since his Tampa Bay Buccaneer days. So pretty impressive for him. You know, out there, he's a little bit limited as well. But we needed him to be healthy too for week 1, and he's looking strong in man coverage. And that's it, guys. I really appreciate it. You know, going on 23 minutes real soon. Thanks for coming in and watching the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification ball up top. Hit that bell. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. What do you guys think? You know, day 15 in the books. A couple more days, it seems like. And then, you know, we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up, and then that's it. Then the season's going to start right after that. So, hey, man, thanks a lot, guys. Detroit versus everybody. Grit. Let's go. LFG. Detroit, baby. Boom.